The particulars of our voyage still evaded me, though. "We're going to live, my boy. We're going to see things you've never seen before, sleep under the stars, meet fascinating people, and no doubt make plenty of illuminating mistakes along the way." He wasn't looking at me as he said this, but glanced out through the window over the grounds of Cranley Hall's immense estate. His eyes followed a flock of swifts who were performing an aerial display above the elegant gardens. I gulped down my nerves and tried to be positive. "That sounds wonderful. I'm sure I'll enjoy sleeping outside in the cold and making mistakes." He narrowed his eyes once more and glanced at me through the side of his vision. "Who knows? We may even find a way to rid you of your crippling aversion to new experiences." I was about to reply when our footman Halfpenny appeared at the door. He was a stout, honest sort of chap with a grey face and a livery that always looked a little too tight for him, as though he'd inherited it from whoever had done the job before. I was sure he would never do anything so foolish as sleeping somewhere without any beds.
"My lord, Todd informs me that the cars are packed and we're ready to depart."
Cars? Plural? I asked, as I'd assumed that it would just be the two of us setting off together. Lord Edgington did not appear to have heard. He pushed the road map in my direction and marched ebulliently across the room.
"Jolly good, Halfpenny. Jolly good indeed."
I had a bit of trouble getting the blessed map to fold the right way. Once I'd finally packed it into its case and found the strength to lift the burden I'd been lumbered with, I was ready to go. I followed my travelling companion through the house and out towards the barn where he kept his ever-growing collection of luxurious automobiles. Our dashing young chauffeur, Todd, was already at the wheel of the largest Rolls-Royce, which was packed from bonnet to boot with cases, chests and boxes. He wasn't the only one waiting for us. "I came to say goodbye, darling." My mother rushed forward to smother me in a hug. Delilah was sniffing about my ankles too, and her canine affection was always appreciated. "Thank you, Mummy." I sounded 7 years old at most. I must admit I was feeling more than a little nervous about our departure, and it wasn't just the uncertainty of our itinerary that had set me on edge. My grandfather's favourite Aston Martin was already purring in anticipation of the old man's arrival, and I knew how dangerous his driving could be.
"I'll take good care of him."
With a truly wicked smile on his face, he pulled on his driving goggles. Yes, of course you will." Mother could feign no confidence on the matter, and I completely understood why. It was at that moment that a third car drove out of the barn-cum-garage. Halfpenny was at the wheel, with our cook Henrietta alongside him. My favourite maid, Alice, and, even more unexpectedly, Driscoll the gardener, were in the back seat. "Didn't you think of inviting the scullery maids, Father?" There was a thick blanket of sarcasm draped over my mother's words. I was pleased to see that my grandfather could serve up just as frosty a response to his daughter as he often did to me.
"We'll be gone for weeks, Violet. It only makes sense to bring some staff with me."
"Some staff? You're taking half the household. While I can just about understand the need for a footman, a cook and perhaps a maid on a cross-country excursion, I don't see what good a gardener will do." I noticed that Alice still hadn't looked at me. I'd been in love with her since I was 13 years old, and had spent the time since then attempting to discern any affection she might possess in return. She sat staring into space, like a mannequin in a lady's outfitter's. While I'm sure you can imagine the pain her inability to cast her gaze upon me caused, that was nothing compared to what I was about to endure. As grandfather climbed aboard the ostentatious vehicle, he offered a brief explanation for the size of our travelling party.
"I'm taking Halfpenny, as my own butler is otherwise engaged. Todd is driving the supply car, and Henrietta will prepare food as we travel. Meanwhile, young Alice and Mr. Driscoll requested a day off at the seaside for their honeymoon, but I couldn't spare them."
Honeymoon. In an instant my world crumpled in on itself, like a piece of paper tossed thoughtlessly into the dustbin. I'd always hoped to accompany